Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Bottoms in thanks to Jim Cramer. So Jim Cramer maintains his bleak year prediction for crypto, guys. He's thinking 2023 is going to be as bleak as 2022. This coming from Ian Binns on Twitter. So Jim, what you're saying is, none of this regulatory talk is getting you excited whatsoever? Market analyst and host of CNBC's Mad Money Show, Jim Cramer, has reiterated how pessimistic he is about the state of crypto this year. So he took to Twitter. Cramer says he's pondering how many people are still involved in cryptocurrency, despite his stance that this year might actually be an extension of last year. As I predicted, another weak year for crypto. I do ponder how many people are still involved. Now, many millions of people, he tweeted. So, to me, if that is not a sign to be bullish, of course, we got to remember the inverse Cramer indicator. I don't know what is. We've been seeing the crypto market just collapse in on itself. I've got the XRP chart up here on the daily, and XRP just under 30 cents, 34.8 at the moment of this recording. And, we're still seeing it vacillating in this zone here, still down about 82%. So that's just above the average for the entire altcoin market. And let's not forget that XRP is actually one of those cryptocurrencies that has fared better than other altcoins, right? If I take a look at Algorand, for example, you can see down here, I've already have the price tool here on the chart. Algorand did go down as low as 94%, and now it's trading off its top about 93%. So there are a lot of altcoins down in the 90s, XRP down 82, bringing up the total too. So that is the cryptocurrency market minus Bitcoin. And you guys can see here, still holding this support here. Let me just remove that for a second. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So we're still holding this support in and around here. Let me throw a horizontal line on that so you guys can see support still holding, okay, even back from June of 22. We bounced off a couple of times, and now it is looking, well, at least in the immediate future, it is looking positive. We got a few green candlesticks here in a row. So this is the total two on the daily. And off the top, if you look at the average, I guess, of all altcoins, total two is only down about 73.6%. And the lowest it went was about 75%. So XRP somewhere in the middle there, sitting at 82%, whereas other altcoins are down 93, 94, even 95% in some cases. So, the way I look at it, if you're looking at altcoins and seeing what is actually valued lower than the average market value, there are a lot of altcoins right now that demonstrate some great buying opportunities. Of course, 2023 is going to be an interesting year, a pivotal year. This story here particularly is the driving force, I think, behind the reasons that government and the powers that be are deciding to do what they're doing. Another one here from Ian Binns. So this just broke yesterday, guys. SBF has pleaded not guilty to all charges for when the trial begins here. So disgraced founder of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, pleaded not guilty to all federal charges against him on Tuesday morning. Bankman-Fried arrived in the United States District Court in the Southern District of New York with a massive media presence. In total, SBF pleaded not guilty to 8 charges, which in total, carry a 115-year sentence. Ouch. He will remain on bail and back in court on October the 2nd, 2023. So, doesn't have a court date for a while. We got some details here on some of the charges. Former FTX Chief Executive Officer Sam Bankman-Fried has pled not guilty to all criminal charges he's facing related to the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange, including wire fraud, securities fraud, and violations of campaign finance laws. Multiple observers of the United States District Court in the Southern District of New York on January 3rd reported that Bankman-Fried's attorneys had entered a plea of not guilty on SBF's behalf in his first court appearance since December. Bankman-Fried faces 8 criminal counts, which could result in 115 years in prison if he is convicted. So these just some more reports here from some various news outlets. While John Deaton had an opinion on this, Michael Branch posting this, John Deaton says he's toast. All right, this guy doesn't stand a chance. Attorney John Deaton has expressed confidence that disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried will face the full brunt of the law for his alleged crimes. In an interview on Fox Business yesterday, he asserted that SBF is toast, and I got the interview here for you guys. Listen to this.
All right, folks, breaking right now, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried pleading not guilty to all counts. Let's get the read from crypto law founder John Deaton. John, not necessarily a surprise per se. A lot of folks thought he would plead not guilty, but it's par for the course considering the hubris of this guy. And for me, what I'm concerned about is because I don't want this to be a story about one person's hubris and greed. And I want everyone involved to sort of, to pay a price at least. But what do you make of this so far, what's happened? Even the fact that he's out on bail pisses me off.
Yeah, you have the sentiment of a lot of people out there, Charles. First of all, Happy New Year. Thanks for having me. Great question to ask, because this guy was denied bail in the Bahamas, comes to the United States. He's granted bail. We see him in first class lounges, and we see him traveling business class. In the meantime, people have lost their retirements. They've lost their life savings. So people are upset about it, and it's understandable. But I do have faith that he's going to see justice, because once you read the transcript of his partners in crime at their guilty plea, we learned that the prosecutors of the Southern District of New York asked the judge to keep it quiet in order to get his consent for extradition, and didn't release their cooperation until he was in custody of the FBI in the air. And when you read that plea agreement, he's toast, Charles. He's toast. But I can understand everybody's frustration.
Yeah, of course. And, but I find it amazing that he's gone on websites and podcasts, throwing his girlfriend under the bus, and she did the smart thing, right? She cooperated. He's really going to get thrown under the bus. But I'm talking.
So notice what John Deaton says here. It was the way the plea deal was released, the way we got the information that suggests that Sam Bankman-Fried is toast and that they have more information on him than he believes. So, I mean, his lawyer should have picked up on this. Obviously, John Deaton did pick up on this. I mean, are they going to throw the book at him? I guess we won't know for a little while. His next court appearance, as they say, is not till October. So what's going to happen in the meantime? Michael Branch pointing this out. The United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has formed the FTX task force to trace and recover. So in the aftermath of the FTX collapse, the government is actually now taking it upon itself to look for and recover the stolen funds. United States Attorney Damian Williams said the office is working around the clock to respond to the implosion of FTX. They're saying all hands are on deck at the moment. We are launching the SDNY FTX task force, specifically a task force to ensure that this urgent work continues, powered by all of the SDNY's resources and expertise until justice is done. So, this is how it's rolling out. It's becoming quite a circus, actually. I gotta say, quite the circus. But, I think it has to be. It has to be if they want to push their agenda forward. It has to be if the United States wants to push their agenda forward. They need an excuse to regulate crypto and to regulate the hell out of it, because so far what they've been doing hasn't been good enough. I mean, us in the crypto space, we've been doing what we've been doing over the last several years. We've been trading basically in a lawless type of way. It's only been recently that we've had some sort of cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, but, not to the degree that we had hoped. But 2023 is going to be the year, and, we're seeing the narrative everywhere here, guys. Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox, just pointing this out, and I'm not going to go over these next few articles in detail. I will leave them in the description for you guys. But, interesting to point out here, this was the plan all along, he says, get an offshore crypto custodian to collapse so that you can just try to shut down crypto. Crypto did not do this. It is the government, in fact, that is doing this. So Federal Reserve, top bank regulators flag significant worries over crypto assets. And so we're seeing a lot of articles like this. So this has to do with the Federal Reserve specifically. So the Fed, FDIC, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency issued a joint statement on Tuesday, again yesterday, warning about significant risks crypto assets may pose to the broader banking system. It is important that risks related to the crypto asset sector that cannot be mitigated or controlled do not migrate to the banking system. So they're all worried, or at least they say they're worried, that this crypto contagion is going to move to the banking system, and it's going to spoil our banking system, our robust, healthy banking system. Yeah, right. The agency said in a joint statement, given the significant risks highlighted by recent failures of several large crypto asset companies, the agencies continue to take a careful and cautious approach related to current or proposed crypto asset related activities and exposures of each banking organization. Regulators are warning banks about the long laundry list of risks when it comes to crypto, including fraud, volatility, poor risk management, and contagion within the crypto sector. So you guys can see how the narrative is going. I also happened upon this, this coming from BondCrypt XRP. The IRS is looking to partner with crypto companies to to combat financial crimes. So amid the push to regulate cryptocurrency and the crypto industry in the wake of the collapse in the value seen in 2022, the U.S. Internal Revenue Services, or the IRS, is looking to ramp up its oversight of the nascent asset class by hiring hundreds of new agents in 2023, many of whom will be directed to work on digital assets and cyber crime. So a classic example of, and if you believe in this conspiracy, we caused the problem, but here, look, we're offering you guys a solution. And coming down hard on cryptocurrency is the solution we are offering. And this is the only way we can, combat this and we can regulate this properly so that everybody is safe. Take a look at this just down here. According to Fato Russo, who is a risk compliance special agent with the IRS, he said this: the agency cannot take a hostile approach to the technology and instead must embrace it, since it isn't going anywhere anytime soon and it's becoming more legitimate as the years roll on. So notice too how they're taking this, these terms are making it sound like, oh, well, if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. Meanwhile, the powers that be have known this technology has existed for a long time, and they've known that they were going to incorporate these technologies into the financial system and that it was going to roll out over time. They're making it sound like, okay, well, crypto's here to stay. We can't get rid of it, so we might as well regulate it and do our best to regulate it to be able to protect retail investors. So, I mean, it's just a big spin game, and, I'm sure a lot of you guys realize that by now. We've also got this, guys: 100 crypto lobbyists prepare to fight for their lives as Congress resumes. So it is the new year. Congress has resumed, and cryptocurrency is a hot topic as the United States Congress have now drawn battle lines between lawmakers for and against the fledgling financial industry, as this article puts it. But the Blockchain Association reports that more than 100 crypto industry advocates are fighting to help strike the right balance between protection and innovation. So Ron Hammond actually tweeted this out. It's an interesting thread just kind of outlining what Congress is doing here this week in Congress and crypto. The first day of the 118th Congress has arrived. It is no secret the crypto industry is in the crosshairs of Congress after the FTX fallout. So that's the first statement there. Crypto's in the crosshairs. We better be ready. This Congress presents challenges and opportunities, though, so here's the latest from the ground. He goes on to say, one word to summarize how things are right now for the crypto industry on the Hill, ... bad. So that is essentially the outlook right now. The optics just don't look good for cryptocurrency, and it's set us all back. SBF and FTX have significantly set back the industry in DC. Recall, SBF was on the Hill lobbying Congress and the regulators more than any CEO in crypto. So we can't forget that, right? SBF was the number one lobbyer for this, and now he has been charged with criminal activity due to his fraudulent exchange. When the fraud became apparent in November, members on both sides of the aisle and regulators quickly distanced themselves from him. The political donations from SBF led to an onslaught of negative press, and members have largely returned or donated those contributions. Meetings with policymakers and staff have also gotten tense after the FTX fiasco. As crypto crawled across the finish line in 22, some of the crypto skeptics turned to an odd line of thinking that there shouldn't be regulation because it will further legitimize crypto. The problem for many in DC is that they equate FTX with the entire crypto industry. This isn't solely the fault of FTX, though. Celsius, Terra, and Three Arrows also led to this thinking. So we got to remember that. That was the big story in the spring. And, for a lot of us, we've almost kind of forgotten about the Terra Luna fiasco as well. FTX, though, seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back, as many are calling for action. Dodd-Frank, Glass-Steagall, Sarbanes-Oxley. These are all major bills passed after a financial crisis or serious scandal. It is entirely possible FTX's downfall spurs this once-in-a-decade legislation. Already we have proposals like the Lummis-Gillibrand and McHenry-Waters proposals. These historic regulatory bills, though, take a lot of political capital to move, and nothing increases the chance of passage like a crisis. So, bring on the crisis and we'll come up with a solution, because that's what we do as government. If this effort were to come together, and that's a big if, then they likely wouldn't be a combo of new and old bills to tackle a variety of topics. Most of the first months of Congress will focus on FTX, though. While stablecoins seem like something that would be tackled first, as even I had originally predicted, it seems that FTX fact-finding will skip the line and become the center of attention. Stablecoin regulation is still top of mind, For many, though, there is also a unique dynamic with the split in Congress. Typically, a split Congress rarely passes many bills as both sides fail to see eye to eye on bills, or their priorities aren't shared with the other side. A crisis can change that, but it is not guaranteed. Ron Hammond goes on into more detail down here. It is a fairly lengthy tweet thread, and I will link it in the description for you, so you can see where Congress's head is at. But you know what, guys? It's okay, because we hold XRP, and despite all this, Brad Garlinghouse has come out and he thinks regulatory clarity is going to happen in 2023. Now, you couple this with a positive verdict for the Ripple SEC lawsuit, and we will likely see, dare I say, positive action for XRP. So this coming from XRP Crypto Wolf here, and Brad Garlinghouse again saying he's positive, he's optimistic in 23. He commented on the first day of the 118th Congress, and Garlinghouse pointed out that bills such as the Security Clarities Act, the Cryptocurrency Facilitation for Investors and Digital Assets Act, and the Clarification for Digital Tokens Act are going to be addressed. While no bills have been able to satisfy everyone's expectations so far, Garlinghouse believes that this could be seen as an opportunity rather than a hindrance. These proposals can provide more than a starting point for debate in Congress. Now, Brad Garlinghouse has come out and he said, today is the first day of the 118th Congress. While prior efforts at regulatory clarity for crypto in the US have stalled, I am cautiously optimistic that 23 is the year we will finally see a breakthrough. And here is a thread on why. He goes on to say, support for regulation is bipartisan and bicameral. Leaders like, and then he lists off a bunch of leaders in Congress, have publicly supported blockchain and recognized the need for clarity. We're not working with a blank slate here. Prior bills have tried to address everything from stablecoins to centralized exchanges, RFIAs, DCEAs, clear definitions of what constitutes a digital asset security, the Securities Clarity Act, Safe Harbor, so on and so forth. No bill is perfect, and there likely never will be one that satisfies everyone. But perfect shouldn't be the enemy of progress, and I couldn't agree more. These proposals provide more than a starting point for debate in this new Congress. The stakes couldn't be higher. Singapore, the EU, Brazil, and Japan have all crypto frameworks, and the UK is well ahead of the United States. But the lack of coordinated standards globally, or any in the US, continues to push business to countries with lower regulatory bars, with sometimes catastrophic results, i.e. FTX. Changing the status quo is never easy, but I believe that the will to act exists. The building blocks for regulation have already been introduced, and we have a chance to get this right for millions of Americans who already are and will continue to be interested in crypto. So Brad Garlinghouse pointing out that, US citizens, their interest in crypto is not going away. We're going to continue to trade, but the circumstances in which we continue to trade will in fact be different in 2023. According to Brad Garlinghouse, the 118th Congress has an historic opportunity before it to ensure the US remains an innovation leader for decades to come. We hope it's one that they take. So that is Brad Garlinghouse's thoughts on what we could see this year, this coming year. He's feeling fairly optimistic that this is finally going to be the year. And, Brad Garlinghouse has never come out and been this confident. I think that he kind of knows what the narrative is. He knew that there needed to be a reason, i.e. the FTX collapse. He knew that there needed to be all those red herrings before government decided to lay down the hammer and lay it down hard. So Brad's saying this. We also have this Ripple Labs executive. I think he's from the Southeast Asia region. This is coming from Michael Branch here. He recently did an interview as well. Right, it's Ripple's Asia Pacific Policy Director, Rahul Advani. He discussed the SEC case as well. And he's also saying, we're hoping to see the judge's decision in the first half of 2023. So this with regards to the Ripple SEC case specifically. So again, guys, coinciding crypto regulation with the Ripple SEC case verdict spells a positive outlook for XRP and XRP price. Crossing my fingers, not holding my breath, but you know what? The perfect storm. This is what it's looking like to me. The SEC is not looking to apply the law. They are looking to remake the law in the hope that it can expand its jurisdiction. So he's just criticizing the SEC a little bit here. We hope that a resolution to this case will help to bring about the much needed regulatory clarity for the US crypto sector. Now, this guy's from the Asia Pacific region. So the fact that he's commenting on U.S. regulation specifically, because his wheelhouse is basically in the Asia Pacific region where Ripple is already working and thriving. But he knows the importance of the U.S. market, and obviously this needs to play out in a certain way for Ripple to really thrive and for XRP utility to really thrive as well. So he goes on, talks about the bear market of 22 and how Ripple did indeed still thrive during the bear market, talks about some of those milestones that they hit. So, a lot of generic stuff that we've talked about over the year, really. He was asked, how do you see the crypto market in 23? What highs and lows do you expect? And so he goes on to say, events in 2022 have underscored the urgent need for additional safeguards to protect retail crypto investors. So, again, along the same lines, this same narrative, in the new year, we can expect to see jurisdictions around the world working to finalize crypto asset regulation frameworks. By the end of 2023, we expect to see most jurisdictions with broad crypto asset legislation on the books. So, echoing basically what Brad Garlinghouse has said with regards to his optimism, with regards to 2023 and crypto regulatory clarity. He was also asked about other crypto companies. He said, in 2023, I think that more companies will turn their focus to unlocking real use cases. So, this to me sounds like in 23, are we going to see such harsh regulation that, a lot of the cryptocurrencies that don't solve problems. Here, let me bring it up for you here. There's over 22,000 cryptocurrencies in the space, and, most of them are crap coins, 99.9%, I'd venture to say. Are we going to see most of these go to zero, and are we going to just, focus on the handful of projects that unlock real value, have real use cases, like the XRPs of the world, like the XLMs, the Algorands, the VeChains, the HBARs, the Quants, all those cryptocurrencies that really should see the lion's share of the market cap. He says, while players with questionable fundamentals that try to rely on industry hype cycles will likely exit the market, I would argue that this is a crucial step for the long-term health of the crypto sector. And then down here, he said something else. Where was it? Right, down here, again, a move away from speculation. Okay, so is the worst over for the crypto market, or will it get even more difficult in 2023? Crypto is definitely here to stay, as we've heard, that's, the talking point that we've been hearing now, but only real use cases will withstand the test of time. So going back to the use cases, so I think that we're going to see a shift away from highly speculative use cases. Heading into 23, the spotlight will be on crypto companies that are able to harness blockchain technology to address real customer needs and solve real problems. So again, guys, all things pushing towards real-world utility. 2023 looks to be the year. Brad Garlinghouse sounds confident. Finally, we will see a breakthrough in this. The SEC lawsuit coming to a close. SBF hopefully will be charged. I mean, John Deaton at least thinks he's toast. So what are we looking at? The first half of 2023? Essentially, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, I know we've been eyeing March 2023, so the first quarter. Brad Garlinghouse, or who was it, Advani, he was saying the first half of 2023. So, we're kind of in and around there, give or take a month or so. And Jeremy Hogan, just came out with his latest prediction. He was responding to this tweet thread here. I really used to enjoy your posts, says Bradders73 on Twitter. Now I sit waiting along with everyone else for the end of the Ripple SEC case. What's the latest, Jeremy? Can we expect January 2024? Jeremy Hogan responds, I still think we are 3 to 4 months away. Pieces of the case will continue to move on after that, but we should basically know the main outcome shortly. So 3 to 4 months, April, May, a little longer than the original March 2023 deadline. Nevertheless, this is all looking positive for XRP hodlers and those who hold coins that solve problems. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.